that way. So, Todd, you've been pretty good about it so far this year. Can you pick a winner for us today?
I'm going with Ben Rhodes. The kid's been so fast all year. He deserves to get this win. You know, we saw he came close once already, almost beating Kyle. I think he's got a good shot today.
Now that you are set up, it is time to go racing from Pocono Raceway. And for that, we send it to Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, and Vince Welch.
Well, many come to the Poconos to honeymoon. We come to race. We love the trucks, so Pocono Raceway is a perfect place to spend our Saturday afternoon with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. When 48-time winner Kyle Busch is in the truck, you know he's the driver to beat, and that is no different today. But there's also no shortage of challengers. Ben Rhodes had Busch covered at Kansas earlier this season until his engine let go 3 laps from the end. Today, Rhodes starts from the pole with hopes of his first career win. And with the playoffs just a month away, Ryan Truex is on the outside. And after 3 straight rough finishes, he needs to bounce back in a big way today. He starts 4th. Another fighting for a playoff spot in his first trip to victory lane is Chase Briscoe. Twice the bridesmaid, but never the bride. Briscoe hopes for a day he'll never forget here this afternoon at Pocono. Great to have you with us with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons. I'm Vince Welch. Let's see, we've got a unique track. We've got high speeds. We've got crazy strategy, chaotic restarts. Where do we start with what we're going to see today?
Gosh, I don't know, but let's start with strategy. I talked to a bunch of the crew chiefs down in the garage area, and they had 3 or 4 different scenarios. Some guys are going to not even stop at the end of stage 1. They're going to go to about lap 27 before they close pit road at the end of stage 2. That's going to be their only pit stop of the race. We've got other guys that are going to stop at the end of stage 1, try to stretch it past stage. It's all over the board there, and every single crew chief has 3 or 4 different strategies, but that can change with circumstances. They got to be close enough to the lead if they're going to pit under green and get back out and not lose a lead lap. And for people like Johnny Sauter, who has to go to the back of the pack because of unapproved adjustments, that may change their strategy totally, and he is going to have to start from the back and maybe adjust what they had planned on doing. But, Michael, there's more on the line here than just the win at the end of the day.
Sounds like you got to have an active playbook. You better have very many different plans going on in your mind so you can implement the right one. The playoffs, Phil, are just 5 races away. That means the strategy is going to be intensified with all the ramifications of what you do. There's stage points available. There's playoff points available. These crew chiefs know that. They're going to try to outsmart each other and get as many of them as they can. But remember, when you're planning your strategy, 5 of the 7 races here have been decided by an overtime finish. And overtime at Pocono is 2.5 miles twice. You've got to have that gas to get to the checkered flag.
If you run out of gas over here on the front stretch, there's no way you make it back around to pit road here. Your day could be done.
And we got a great championship battle going on right now between Johnny Sauter, as you mentioned, has to start at the back, and Christopher Bell, who made up 21 points last weekend at Eldora. There's the pole sitter, Ben Rhodes. He hopes he's smiling at the end of the day instead of just at the start. Excited for it. We're about ready to get it going. Let's go downstairs for opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise and remove your hats as the Ligonier Valley High School Air Force Junior ROTC presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Nick Terry of Motor Racing Outreach offers today's invocation.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, you are holy and you are good. And God, we pause to seek you first. God, we remember Mark Smith and the impact he left on our sport. And we pray for his family during their time of loss. God, thank you for a beautiful day for the United States of America, for the men and women who defend our freedom so that we can do what we love today, and for the way, the truth, and the life that is Jesus. Amen.
Here today to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Yisha Biney, and joining us to sign the national anthem from the Scranton School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, please welcome Carlene Miller.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Get those last good wishes. It's just about ready to go racing. Skies are blue, and the flag will be green shortly at Pocono.
One show that never fails to electrify the crowd. Daredevils turn on the heat with men who mark fate at the wheel. They continue in any condition. It's every man for himself.
He's going to do it. The defending series champ, Christopher Bell, wins. Tonight, he will go to victory lane.
On the bottom, clear.
Sunshine and 75 at Pocono. Could it get any better? It's going to be fun. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Pocono Raceway. Along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch, covering the stories on pit road. Hermie Sadler and Chris Neville. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Vince. Well, Justin Haley looked to be one of the quickest trucks in qualifying. In fact, on that first round, he looked to have one of the fastest laps, but a sway bar broke just as he was entering turn 3. So because of that, he's going to have to start at the back today. And talking to Justin, he won the ARCA race yesterday. He said he is going to have to lean on everything he learned yesterday in that ARCA race because this is his first time here in the truck race. He said he was able to learn a few things, but not much of it transfers over to the trucks. He said in this first round, this first stage, he's going to try and work his way up into the top 10, but he is going to sacrifice stage 2 and try and either go for win or bust here at Pocono. Hermie Sadler?
Chris, last time out at Eldora, Matt Crafton won, and in doing so, broke a winless streak that lasted well over a year. The question is, can they build on that momentum and contend for another championship? To do that, they've got to overcome a racetrack that has been tough on the 88. They've had issues, crashes, and bad finishes, but they hope to overcome that today and contend for championship number 3. Let's go down to the trackside to get the command.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome the Vice President of E-Commerce for Overton's, Peter Hagerman.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the employees and customers of Overton's, welcome to the Overton's 150. Now, drivers, start your engines.
We're in the fuel safe mode here.
The trucks are fired. Just about ready to go racing. 60 laps at Pocono. Getting ready to go Truck Series racing at Pocono. As we take a look at our Camping World track description, Mike, this is why they call it the Tricky Triangle.
Yeah, look at all that information. Turn 1, 2, and 3 are all distinctively different. The straightaways are long and fast. That means when you enter these corners, it's a real challenge to keep your truck straight, headed in the right direction. And when you exit the turn, they want to push. The front end wants to go out on you. These drivers are really faced with a big challenge today.
Our Camping World race analysis.
You see, this race is relatively short, only 60 laps, 150 miles. Those are the stages at 15 and then at 30, and then the end of the race at 60. A pit window could be really critical. Those guys can go the entire last stage if they want on fuel.
And you heard the drivers already talking fuel save mode. They just started their engines. You mean they're already saving fuel? Yes.
Absolutely.
They're going to save all the way to the checkered.
Only one driver in this field has won here at Pocono before, and it's that man, Kyle Busch. Kyle will start on the front row as we take a look at our starting lineup, but he's not on pole position. Pole position belongs to Ben Rhodes, who was fastest in both rounds of qualifying, his second career pole.
Yeah, Ben Rhodes did an awesome job here. He knows that Kansas is very fresh in his mind here. He wants to beat that Kyle Busch truck.
Another fast Kyle Busch truck is Christopher Bell in that 4. He's the talk in the garage area, maybe the favorite to take down Kyle Busch.
Chase Briscoe, a former winner here in the ARCA Series last year.
Johnny Sauter qualified on row 4, but they had an issue mechanically, so he'll have to start from the tail.
There you see Kaz Gralla ran the ARCA race yesterday, gained some experience. Cody Coughlin will be carrying a camera for us. Justin Haley
going to the back as well. Had a bolt fall out of his sway bar arm during qualifying.
Lucky didn't crash that truck, Bill.
Very lucky.
Matt Mills, Todd Peck back in row 10. Austin Wayne Self, Wendell Chavis in the 11th row. Camden Murphy, Norm Benning back there as well.
Series champion Travis Quapple back in row number 13.
Jennifer Joe Cobb had a sick motor in qualifying. Be interesting to see how that thing will run today.
30 trucks in the show here today at Pocono. Our onboard cameras.
Yeah, this is our Ford onboard of Austin Cindric, and what a week it's been for him. He saw early in the first practice session, he got into the wall when he cut a tire down, got the backup truck out. It had problems as well. His first lap on the racetrack was qualifying, and he will start that LTI printing Ford from the 17th spot.
Let's hop on board with Cody Coughlin from Delaware, Ohio. He was 11th at Eldora last time out. That ties his career best. He's going to start the Jegs number 13 Toyota from the 13th position.
You talked about our point leader, Johnny Sauter, having to go to the back. He's in the Allegiant Airlines Chevrolet. Got his work cut out for him. Had a fast truck in qualifying 7th, but will go to the back of the pack.
This is the view you want out of your truck, just right up on the front row. That's Kyle Busch. He's won 2 of 4 in 2017. He's won here 2 years ago. He wins a lot, Phil.
Yes, he does.
This Cessna Toyota is flying today. He'll be tough to beat.
Well, the playoffs are just 5 races away, so it's starting to get down to go time, and these are the drivers. 5 have solidified their spot already with a victory. Kaz Gralla victorious at the season opener at Daytona.
Christopher Bell did it the very next week at Atlanta, but then he won twice more here. Leads our playoff point standings.
Johnny Sauter victorious at Dover. He's the defending series champion.
And then John Hunter Nemechek went on quite the run. 2 in a row, made himself playoff eligible.
And how about Matt Crafton on the dirt at Eldora, going to Victor Lane and giving gold shovel?
So 8 drivers make the playoffs. Those 5 in yellow have secured spots with victories already. And you see, with 60 points available at each race, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right on that. Nobody's safe. There's a lot of work yet to be done.
Vince, if you're highlighted in yellow, you're looking forward to the playoffs. If you're still in white, you're looking over your shoulder to see if anybody's coming. That's some tense times for these racers.
Well, we talked about Johnny Sauter and the issues that he has having to start at the back. Let's see if we can get a word with him, Phil.
Hey, Johnny Sauter, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth with the boys. How's it going, bud?
So far, so good. Obviously getting ready to go here. Had a little trouble there with our water pressure tank, so we got to go to the rear here. So we're going to have our work cut out for us today, but our Legion Travel Chevys had good speed all weekend and feel pretty good about it.
Johnny, we know you and Joe had a strategy going in here if you would have started in your normal spot of 7th. How about now going to the back? Did that change your strategy?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking strategy down here, and to be completely honest with you, I'm so confused on the strategy part. The last thing I said when I left the hauler was, do whatever you want. I'm coming to pit road. So they know a lot more about it than I do. I'm just going to be trying to navigate through traffic here and try to get a good run out of this thing, maybe have a shot to win it.
All right, Johnny, we're confused as well. Thanks for talking to us. Have a good run, bud.
a lot of options, that's for sure. Maybe his crew chief, Joe Shear, has a little better guidance for us. He's with Chris Neville.
Yeah, hopefully Johnny Sauter can just drive that truck hard, and his crew chief isn't confused with strategy here. Joe Shear Jr. going to call those shots today. And Joe, usually these big tracks give you options, but with these shorter stages, how does that change those options?
It changes everything, and we're going to have to just play it out here. Obviously, going to the back is going to change everything that we were coming here trying to do. But we came here, and half of it we got done. We came here with a fast truck. We worked on this truck, particularly come here because we've not really ran that great here. But we thought we were pretty good in practice. Didn't qualify as good as what we thought, but we know we got a good truck. So now I got to start over, and I really don't know what to do. But we'll see what it plays out here. It could go. There's about a million things that I can do here, but we'll have to see how it plays out and how the cautions fall, and we'll see what happens. But we're going to give it everything we got.
Still sound a little bit confused down here. Hermie Sadler?
Well, thank you, Chris. Let's set the stage for the 19 of Austin Cindric. Basically, lost your primary truck, went to a backup truck. No laps basically on this truck prior to qualifying today. So, as a crew chief, how confident are you in what you've got to start here?
Well, we definitely have had a challenging day or two, but we got a strong group of guys, strong team. Austin will do fine out there. He'll feel it out first couple laps, see what he's got, and we'll go to work on it. You know, it's not necessarily about how you start, but how you finish.
How about these stages, 15 and 30 laps, short race, short stages? How do you approach that?
Man, it's a really short race, so, you know, we're needing some track position now, so you just never know the way these stages work. We get a quick caution, we might go ahead and pit and then not pit at stage break.
That's Doug Randolph. He'll be trying to get Austin Cindric in the 19 to the front to overcome the issues they had here at Pocono yesterday.
Well, from those two interviews, we've certainly gleaned that there are a lot of options, and right now nobody is quite sure which one they're going to take.
Well, I don't feel so bad that us three up here in the booth are confused because Joe Shear's on the pit box. He's confused, and Johnny's in the truck, and he's confused.
And like I said, you have to be live with your strategy. When that caution flag flies, it changes everything.
Liquid.
You'll go to like page 6 in your playbook and say, okay, caution on lap 10. I know what I do here. They've got a plan. They just don't know which plan they're going to implement to try to take advantage of the cautions.
One of the crew chiefs told me that this is the most challenging race of the year because of the shortness of the stages.
The 27 of Ben Rhodes will start from the pole today.
You know, between you and Eddie, just help keep me out of trouble today. You guys can paint a bigger picture than what I can see out the windshield. So you think I can drop back and learn from it? Or you think I need to keep on doing my thing? Just let me know. I'm happy to do whatever. 10-4. Sounds good.
Boy, that's what you want to hear from your driver. You know, they can see the spotter, the crew chief, they can see the big picture. Sometimes when you're the driver, you can only see what's right in front of you. He thinks maybe if he needs to get behind Kyle Busch and try to learn for later in the race, that could be his strategy.
And they also have another channel on their radio that they can communicate without the driver hearing every single word that they're talking about as well.
There's already a bit of strategy here. He picked the outside after qualifying on the pole, so he put Kyle Busch down on the bottom.
That puts the two KBM trucks lined up nose to tail with Christopher Bell right in behind Kyle Busch.
And, you know, Phil, that's a big part. And I got to tell you, these starts are key to success here at Pocono. And you'll see it right off the bat. The way that the 27 of Ben Rhodes gets going is the 16 of Truex behind him, giving him that push. We know Christopher Bell is going to be pushing on Kyle Busch, but watch for rows 3 and 4. They're going to fan out. Could be 4 or 5 wide by the time we get to turn 1.
The start to this race and the restarts that we're going to have are going to be chaotic. That's where you're going to make your move. You're going to have opportunities down these long straightaways. Get on the gas. The green is waving, and we are racing at Pocono.
Ben Rhodes didn't wait around, did he?
No, he didn't wait for that push from Truex.
And look at the push, though, that Kyle Busch is getting. They're going to get to his back bumper before they get to the turn.
Look at the momentum they had from that push from Christopher Bell. Look at Busch get loose on the bottom.
Wow, Rhodes stayed in it and hangs on to the lead for now as Bell in that 4 truck slips back into 4th and Ryan Truex into 3rd.
How about Kyle passing him on the outside, getting into the tunnel turn?
Ben Rhodes just said, okay, make a note of that. I'm not going to block him to the bottom because he'll go around the top.
Matt Crafton getting a position there in that bright yellow 88, getting past Chase Briscoe. The draft is big here with these trucks. We'll talk about it a lot today.
Yeah, they punched such a big hole in the air because of that huge cab. We saw evidence of that at the very start of the race. Ben Rhodes jumped out to 4 or 5 truck length lead, and that draft just sucked Kyle Busch right up there to him.
And that's when you say, Ben, you got too good of a start that time. That's another thing he needs to make note of. As this race progresses, if he's up on that front row, you don't want to get out there all on your own. It would be just like you're at Daytona and Talladega. They'll jump on you.
How about that 27 of Ben Rhodes running second, Chris?
Well, Vince, not surprised at all that Ben Rhodes kind of pulled over and let Kyle Busch go. Talking to him at driver intros, he said he was either going to try and gap the field and run away, but he said, if I get a bunch of pressure from Kyle Busch, I'm going to let him go. I'm going to try and follow him and learn from him. But his plan today was really about getting a top 5 finish, thinking championship points, not doing anything that could sacrifice that.
Well, and if you're going to learn from someone, a 48-time Truck Series winner, Cup Series champion, a good guy to follow around for a while and learn from as you look at that battle for 5th. That's Matt Crafton, the winner in our most recent race at Eldora in the bright yellow Toyota, and John Hunter Nemechek, a 2-time winner this season in the black and green.
Yeah, these guys have been side by side for a couple laps here. You see how the gap in front of them, so Matt Crafton will run out of patience here pretty soon as he tries to get by the 8 of Nemechek.
Trying to catch up a little draft there from the 29 of Briscoe. You just want to get that nose out ahead of the guy on the outsides so you can get some downforce on your truck when you get to the corner. And Matt's just not been able to get there yet. John Hunter's hanging tough on the outside.
You see John Hunter Nemechek, 2-time winner this season, back-to-back at Gateway and Iowa. And they came in here with a lot of confidence, not just in John Hunter and the way they've been running lately, but in this truck as well.
Yeah, had that truck in the wind tunnel set to make some serious good downforce numbers.
And I talked to team owner Joe Nemechek, and he said not only did it make great downforce, which they were happy about, it had very little drag on it. So that means down these long straightaways, they're able to take advantage of having a good aerodynamic truck in a straight line. And then when they get to the corners, the spoilers push it down into the road.
There's Rhodes in second, getting some pressure from Ryan Truex.
Phil, you spent some time in the garage area this morning. A lot of guys in the garage area were talking, the insiders, about this 16 truck of Ryan Truex. A lot of speed for that kid.
Absolutely. Sure has been. What a great team Shiggy Hattori's put together here. There's Johnny Sauter. Good view of him making his way back up towards the front, getting by Austin Cindric in the 19 truck. Austin's hanging in there pretty well for basically almost the first laps in that truck other than qualifying. Move Johnny now up to the 15th spot.
Yeah, remember Sauter had to start at the back. Has already gone through half the field. On board now with Johnny Sauter, defending series champion.
That's our second place finish from the last week at Eldora. Stuart Friesen on the outside there, the 52 truck, as Johnny's going to slide by here. Maybe might get another spot there.
Oh, yeah. 2 for 1 down the front straightaway. Makes a move and gets 2 trucks. Got around TJ Bell in that 45 as well.
And move Johnny up to the 13th spot now.
John Hunter Nemechek running 5th. Hermie?
Yeah, Vince, following the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, he's radioed to his crew chief that he is free on center exit. But one other interesting note that he passed along to Jerry Kennan was that coming off of turn 1, headed down the back straightaway, the Long Pond straightaway, he said the 88 truck was shifting. He seemed to be a little bit surprised that anyone would be shifting here today at Pocono. So we'll follow the 8, but also keep an eye on the 88 to see if he continues to do that and if they are able to do that for this entire race.
That seems like that might be a little hard on the engine here at Pocono. I know that Crafton was able to pull that off at Eldora and made it work. Be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Early laps at the Tricky Triangle. Kyle Busch leads Pocono. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series racing on Fox is sponsored by Camping World, your one-stop shop for all your RV and camping needs. Visit a Camping World Supercenter today. Good battle on track. John Hunter Nemechek running in that 7th spot, and Noah Gregson in the 18 truck is trying to chase him down. Nemechek Matt Crafton had quite a duel side-by-side for multiple laps. Crafton finally made the pass, and Nemechek lost a couple of spots with it.
Yeah, just about the entire race those guys were racing, and you can see Matt Crafton now was pulled out a little bit ahead as well. He brought Chase Briscoe with him.
It's like John Hunter doesn't have the truck under him right now that he would like. He's been able to, or has lost a few spots, and Gregson is now heating him up.
Guys, what's hard to believe is we only have about, 6 laps to go before the end of this first stage?
And I remember each stage, these first 2 stages, just 15 laps apiece.
And that's why the strategy will be interesting, Phil, because you want stage points, you want playoff points, but you want to win the trophy, man. And how do you go about doing that? It'll be interesting to follow.
On board with that Jegs on board of Cody Coughlin. He's running 13th. Sauter had just passed him for 12th.
There you see Friesen's trying to grab that spot from Cody Coughlin, trying to move Cody back another spot.
And you saw J.J. Haley go by. Haley started from the back, too, and he's kept pace with Sauter. So that's a fast truck. We'll keep our eye on the 24.
Teammates there at GMS.
Stewart, Friesen, side by side with Cody Coughlin.
Cody Coughlin crowded over against Friesen, trying to break his aerodynamic run he had. Slow down that 52 truck. Didn't work. There goes Friesen.
Was talking to Terry Cook, spotter and driver coach for Cody Coughlin, and said Cody was really good right off the truck. Really confident of this racetrack. He's had some good runs here in the ARCA Racing Series in the past. Really likes this racetrack.
And how about the race that Friesen is coming off of at Eldora? Now we know the dirt is right in his wheelhouse, but sat on pole, finished second in that race. Really important for him to build on that on the hard surfaces now, not just the dirt.
Some of that dirt looked pretty hard to me at Eldora.
Good battle right there. Second place, third place, fourth place. Christopher Bell in second in that 4 truck, and then Ben Rhodes in the red and black 27. And there's Ryan Truex in the red and white 16. More on Rhodes with Chris.
Well, Vince, yesterday in practice it was interesting talking to some of these drivers, them saying about 5 or 10 laps into a run, just putting too much pressure on that right front tire, getting a bit too hot, and the truck getting tight out there. And that's what Ben Rhodes just told his crew. He said after about lap 8 or 9, the front of that truck just not grabbing the racetrack like it was before, and you can see he's starting to slide back. Hermie?
Well, Chris, we mentioned Johnny Sauter at the top of the broadcast, qualified 7th, but had to start at the back of the field. He's up to 11th. And has his mind set on at least a top 10 with 3 laps to go in this stage, trying to get a stage point. However, the truck is a little bit too tight. He has not been in this much traffic, obviously, this entire weekend, so they look forward to making an adjustment on this 21. But right now, trying to salvage any kind of point they can at the end of this first stage.
Meanwhile, at the front, it's Kyle Busch. And remember, with 2 laps to go, the pits will close. So if anybody's thinking strategy at the end of the first stage, they got to come now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna find out what some people's strategy is here in just a matter of moments, and then when the green and white checker ends this stage, then we're going to find out what everyone else or the rest of the people's strategy is.
There's Busch in the lead, and now got to wait for a while until Bell comes around in second, almost a 3.5 second lead.
As soon as Busch crosses the start-finish line, that closes pit road. So you're not going to have much of a chance to get there because he's got such a big lead.
Yeah, we know that nobody is going to try the strategy to pit before pit road closes at the end of this stage. We may have some guys stay out, though, at the end of this stage and go towards the end of the second stage.
And it's a little bit different for Kyle Busch because Kyle's not running for the Truck Series championship. Obviously, he's a full-time Monster Energy Cup Series competitor. So, the only strategy he has is going to lead to victory. He's not necessarily thinking about points or playoff points per se. It's just about how he's going to position himself to win the race at the end.
The only stage he cares about winning is the last stage. Now, he's going to win this stage more than likely because he has over a 3-second lead. But Matt Crafton's had a pretty good run so far. That's him right there in the yellow, number 88. He's in 5th.
Kaz Grala in the 33. He's in 10th, so he would have that last stage point at this juncture with just 1 lap to go before the end of stage number 1. And Johnny Sauter is chasing him for that 1 point.
That's still a pretty good pickup, though, for Johnny Sauter from starting in the back and in 15 laps. making his way up just outside the top 10.
Boy, he can taste that stage point up there, though, can he? There's the position he needs to get. Last time by, a couple 310s faster than the 33 of Gralla.
Boy, Gralla, his truck just keeps getting bigger and bigger in Johnny's view, doesn't it? That means Johnny's closing up on him. Now Kaz pulls away a little bit.
Remember, prior to Eldora last week, Johnny Sauter had gotten stage points in all stages but one the entire season.
Kyle Busch, the leader. He's led them all so far, and he wins stage 1 at Pocono. Fifth stage win of the season for Kyle. See how the rest of them stacked up in the top 10 when we come back to Pocono. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Racing on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. It's a beautiful day, and we're happy to be at the racetrack, and it has just been absolutely gorgeous here at Pocono this weekend. And we have completed the first stage of the Truck Series race. Kyle Busch, the stage winner, and you see those receiving points in stage 1, led by Christopher Bell, who finished second in that stage. It's a busy time on pit road, Hermie.
John Hunter Nemechek makes his way down pit road. His truck is too loose, needs more lateral grip. It'll be 4 tires and fuel as he slides into his pit box. It'll be a track bar adjustment for the 8. Chris.
Christopher Bell, good speed in his truck, saying the truck a little bit too loose over the tunnel turn and getting into turn 3. Tight off turn 3. Going to be 4 tires on that truck. And Kyle Busch, very fast step down here. He says he's got a real fast truck today. A little bit tight coming off the corner.
Well, there's a little bit of strategy for
play
Kyle
there.
Busch.
Taking 2.
Taking 2 tires. Ryan Truex, the same strategy. Ben Rhodes comes off pit road as well with 2. Christopher Bell will be the first truck off pit road with 4 tires.
What do y'all say we have a chat with the stage winner, Kyle Busch?
Let's do that.
Hey, Kyle Busch, it's Michael Waltrip with the guys up in the Fox Sports booth. Do you hear me, bro? Kyle Busch, it's Michael Waltrip and the Fox boys. Can you hear us?
I hear a mic keying, but I'm not sure if he can communicate with us.
I don't either. I'm on 51A.
Well, we'll see if we can round up Rowdy and maybe chat with him when we come back to Pocono. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Racing on Fox is sponsored by KFC's Extra Crispy Chicken. It's extra crispy good. Noah Gregson with an issue in the 18 truck, still in the box, being held.
Being held a lap there.
Yeah, that's a lap penalty. That's about the biggest penalty you can incur by pitting outside your box.
I got to talk to somebody, Phil. Let's see if Ryan Truex will talk to us. Hey, Ryan Truex, it's Michael Waltrip and the boys in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Man, you've been impressive since you unloaded this weekend. 2 tires. Are you concerned about your strategy, or are you everything going like you hoped?
I don't know, man. Scott makes the calls. I just drive it. So I got full trust and faith in him. So he wanted to take 2, and here we are. The guy next to me did it too, and he seems like he's kind of knows his thing around here. So hopefully I can stay with him on the restart here and get single file and learn a little bit from him, and maybe we can get us a stage win.
All right, go ahead and let us in on the secret. When are you going to pit next?
I have no idea, man. Like I said, I drive it. I let Scott make all the tough calls.
We appreciate your time. I didn't figure you did, but we just thought we'd check. Thanks for everything, and have fun the rest of the day.
Thanks.
And he mentioned Scott. That's Crew Chief Scott Zipadelli.
Oh, go find him.
I have no idea, he said.
On board there with Austin Cindric. Let's take a look at our Ford track facts. Cindric running 10th, and his teammate Chase Briscoe in that 3rd position.
That was the finishes at Eldora.
Oh, excuse me, yes.
Yep. Austin did a great job with that top 10 finish. Chase, we knew with his background on dirt that he was going to be good. Austin, other than Global Rallycross a little bit, 1 or 2 corners on dirt, really had no dirt experience and managed to finish with a top 10.
And by the way, Chase Briscoe about turned over. In practice, he ran his truck into the wall, about flipped it over, put it back up underneath of him, and he raced to a chance to win that thing. Now, this week, Cindric's in a backup truck trying to fight his way to the front.
Briscoe, by the way, currently in 6th, and Cindric will restart a little deeper in 17th. Pace truck pulling off. Kyle Busch and Ryan Truex will lead them.
Is that a first gear restart?
Sounded just like it.
I saw Kyle waving, trying to get somebody to go with him. Obviously, that would be his teammate, Christopher Bell. How about Nemechek down there on the bottom, making it 3 wide?
What about
with that green truck?
Truex matching Kyle on this start down into turn 1.
Kyle pulls away, going through 1, and then Truex responds.
Man, that was a good corner for Truex, wasn't it?
It was.
Was able to pin it right to the bottom.
Christopher Bell and Ben Rhodes right behind, along with Chase Briscoe.
Looked like everybody lined up on the bottom with Ryan Truex.
Early laps, stage 2. Kyle Busch out front. Ryan Truex chasing.
Christopher Bell fought his way to second in that first stage, Vince, but he couldn't match Kyle Busch. Kyle drove away. It'll be interesting to see if Truex can hang with that 51 truck.
See the trucks back just at the back end of the top 10, fanning out a little bit. Looked like Kaz Grala, maybe Grant Enfinger were side by side for a moment.
There's John Hunter Nemechek up the hill, and here comes Johnny Sauter continuing that march from the back toward the front.
Inside the top 10 now, Sauter has gotten past Matt Crafton for 6th, has moved up a spot.
We've talked to Johnny Sauter repeatedly this season after his win, and also just the consistent, steady performance that he's put up, and he's always so confident and so positive about this organization. Loves the calls his crew chief Joe Shearer is making, and he is marching today.
Was really happy with his truck in practice yesterday, and really felt good about it. Had that little bit of a hiccup having to go to the back of the pack, but they really have done a great job fighting their way back up. Just outside the top 5, that's Chase Briscoe in 5th, right in front of him, left side of the screen.
Johnny Sauter's crew chief, Joe Shearer Jr. there on the right side. We talked to him before the race, and he wasn't sure what strategy he was going to use, and said, I thought you made a great comment, Phil, and you said it's fluid. That is for sure.
Well, we know right now everybody stopped at the end of stage number 1. I don't think that's going to be the case here at the end of stage number 2. I think we're going to see some guys come down pit road before they close pit road and try maybe to go to the end of the race from there.
But the only problem with that is the speed of the 51 of Kyle Busch. He stretches it out on these guys. They're not going to have that opportunity. They won't be able to get to pit road in time. They might have to pit with 5 or 6 laps to go in order to pull it off.
Ryan Truex running second. Chris?
Yeah, Ryan Truex trying to stay in front of Christopher Bell. Remember, Ryan Truex, 2 tires that last stop. Christopher Bell, 4 tires as Christopher Bell tries to drive down to the inside here. And when you look at the last 3 races, Ryan Truex, a tough stretch there, 20th or worse each of those last 3 weekends. And when you talk to him, he said, we had good speed in the trucks. We just got caught up in some wrecks. And at Eldora, we had some dirt on the radiator there. But this is a brand new truck this weekend. It's got a lot of speed.
Trying to hold off Christopher Bell for that second spot. Look at them go down the backstretch. Everybody's racing at Pocono.
Busch. It's crisp and cold as a mountain stream. It has the same great taste it's always had. Even the same sound. Busch.
The end of the week. Work is over, school is out, and the wild ones come out to play.
The green flag is out.
Pups get a chance to dance with the big dogs.
They're going at it.
Roars from engines compete with roars of fans. And the stadium lights become a spotlight for one. It's truck season, America.
A rivalry built by legends. By iconic moments. Is time and time again fueled by a pure hatred. From generation to generation. Giants, Dodgers. Rivalry Month concludes today at 4 Eastern on FS1.
NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel like Sunoco Green E15. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
4 laps remaining in Stage 2 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Pocono. Kyle Busch continues to lead. We have seen a little bit of a strategy play from one of our drivers, and that's Grant Enfinger, who just came to pit road and did a gas and go.
Yeah, he came on lap 25, got gas only. Chris, how about the 4 truck? What are they talking about?
Well, we're starting to see some trucks do green flag stops here. And talking to Christopher Bell before the race, he said most of this year they have sacrificed Stage 2 to go for the overall win. He said where we are in the championship right now, we want stage points. So we're potentially going to sacrifice position in the final stage to try and win one of these stages, get more points, and try and close that gap to Johnny Sauter in this championship.
And Chris, I think that's a great plan for this team. They can win this stage. They can gain that playoff point and gain some stage points, and that will give him a leg up on Johnny Sauter if he's able to do so. A lot of other teams will be coming to pit road, just like Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Cody Coughlin, J.J. Haley, all on pit road now. Probably a splash of gas.
Hermie with the 21 of Sauter.
Splash of gas. They still want to tighten him up a little bit. Only going to be 2 right side tires. A little bit slow on the right front. 21 down and away. Cody Coughlin also on pit road. Chris.
Well, quick stop here by Matt Crafton. You see a little bit of a chassis adjustment there. 2 tires, right side tires. He's saying that truck is too tight.
These drivers know the only way they're going to beat Kyle Busch is try to do something he doesn't do. He's on the track so far. Does he come to pit road?
Pit road will close when he gets to the start-finish line.
At 21 of Johnny Sauter, pitted from 6th position. Pits are now closed with 2 to go here in Stage 2. Kyle Busch continues to lead. So with Busch out front, not going to see Christopher Bell get the stage win unless something drastic happens here in these next couple of laps.
Big stage points, though, for Ryan Truex. He's fighting to make the playoffs.
Remember, Christopher Bell, if he remains in 3rd position, he will get 8 overall points. No playoff points, but overall points. And Johnny Sauter already came to pit road, and he's not going to get any more than likely.
So Sauter gave up potential for stage points here to position himself for the run to the finish.
And that means as we run right now, Christopher Bell is probably going to be our point leader as we run at the end of this stage.
Great run for Ryan Truex there, holding off Bell. And there you see the 27 of Rhodes.
How many laps can you go on a tank? 3-3. Ooh, that's close. Depends on how many cautions we get here.
So you hear that strategy. If you can go 33 on a tank, and we're going to have more than 33 when we come back here. Well, the final stage is 30 laps, so you're going to come get gas. You're going to hope for a little caution because you want to make sure you got a little in the tank in case we go overtime.
Yeah, we know we have 2-3 laps of caution at the end of the stage, so I think these guys pitting now, unless something is seriously wrong, should have enough to get at least to the end of regulation.
Remember, 5 of the 7 races we've had here have gone overtime, so that's extra laps, so almost got a plan to have a little extra in the tank.
You can see there, Kyle Busch's lead is only about a second over Truex and Bell, so they're closing the gap on that 51 truck.
Stage 2 complete. 5th time this season a driver has swept the first 2 stages. Kyle does it today. It's been a good day for Christopher Bell. He scored 17 points here in these first 2 stages. Final stage yet to come.
Trucks are going to duck onto pit road. A lot of these guys will probably stay out here, Phil. This is the strategy we've been talking about.
A long line coming to pit road, and Hermie Sadler's there waiting on him.
Vince, we talk about the differences in the 3 turns here at Pocono. The 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, tight in turns 1 and 3, but free in the tunnel turns. 2 right side tires and an air pressure adjustment for the 8. Chris.
Yeah, Ryan Truex pretty happy with his truck down in turns 1 and 2, but saying off turn 3 just a little bit too tight. Went 2 tires on the last stop, looking like 4 tires on this stop. And Kyle Busch, he's also pretty happy with his race truck. Said it's a little bit tight off turn 3, but the team can communicate well with him. But when he keys the mic, his radio is breaking up a bit.
See a little tire strategy there. Who's taking 2? Who's taking 4?
And who's staying out?
Let's see if we can talk to Christopher Bell. He's going to win the race off pit road. He will start behind those trucks that pitted just before the end of the stage. Hey, Christopher Bell, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth with the boys. Got a copy?
Gotcha.
Great job there. You've already earned 17 points to that. That means as you run right now, you are ahead of Johnny Sauter in the overall point battle. You guys put 2 tires on there. That's going to give you a little bit of track position over the boss man. Is that what you think you needed to beat Kyle?
Yeah, I think it'll help. I mean, he's able to just get out front there and cruise. But you know, we've been good. I've been able to get up to second there on the first stage, and then the second stage I was just a little bit off with the truck. But I feel like we're going to be in good shape here in front of him. Hopefully we can keep him behind us.
All right, buddy, you've done a great job. Keep it going.
Thanks.
That's Christopher Bell. His teammate in the 18, Noah Gregson, got the free pass. And that's Kyle Busch. He's won the first 2 stages. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Racing on Fox is sponsored by Camping World, your one-stop shop for all your RV and camping needs. Visit a Camping World Supercenter today. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. When we restart, Johnny Sauter will be the leader. Let's take this opportunity to check in on our Liberty Mutual spotter coverage in the 33 team of Kaz Grala.
So when you're rolling up on these guys, you can't try and Pac-Man the pass. You got to set them up like you did that one guy into one. You got to be a little more patient with your passes. It'll pay off. You tried to force the pass on Tina and it killed you.
Passing correctly, especially for some of these young drivers. I mean, you seem to think as you get a look at where the spotters are located, think, oh, you're a faster truck, you can just make the pass. It's not quite that simple. I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to try to get it done.
And that's one of the reasons that Kaz ran that ARCA race yesterday, was to learn those kind of things. And that's Eddie DeHunt, his spotter, who knows a lot about this sport for sure.
You know, when you stand above the track like our Liberty Mutual spotters do, you learn a lot. You see what lines work and what don't work, and that's what Eddie was telling his young driver, Kaz Grala. Lay back a little bit, get the run that you need to complete the pass. Getting side by side does no one any good at all. It slows you down. You got to finish that pass in a hurry.
Yeah, we're riding along right now, the Toyota on board of Cody Coughlin. He's running 5th because of the strategy. He's one of those trucks that pitted before the end of the stage. But I've been impressed because he was running in the top 10 before he came to pit road. That 0-2 Austin Hill, same situation. Both those young men having great runs today.
And just remember, 2 of our first 3 started in the back. J.J. Haley is 3rd. Johnny Sauter up on the front row. That's great progress. We talked about strategy and using it when you get in a bind. They certainly did that, and now they find themselves up front.
So that 8 came down, and we're in agreement that whoever gets the job, however it turns out, would need to get in line and not mess around side by side, because that just allows everybody to suck up real quick, you know what I mean? So see how it plays out there.
Keep an eye on that. So Sauter and Crafton, they're going to battle for the lead, but whichever one gets the edge, they'll look for a 2 wide to let everybody else catch up. Sauter in the white started at the tail, leads to the flag for the final stage here at Pocono.
Boy, Sauter's teammate Haley's going to jump down and help Matt Crafton, give him a little bit of a push.
And look at the run John Hunter Nemechek's got to the outside of Justin Haley in that 24.
Ooh, Crafton got a little bit loose. Had to chase his truck up the hill. That opened the bottom for Haley.
Johnny Sauter to the point, started at the tail, now leads the race. John Hunter Nemechek in that green truck coming in for second.
That's Enfinger on the very inside of Crafton in the 98 truck.
And look at those two black trucks on the bottom.
Oh, Kyle. Contact in the...
That was contact with the 24 of Haley.
Kyle Busch going around. It was hard to tell which truck that Busch made that contact with, but the 24 of Justin Haley definitely was that truck. And there's Bono Mannion, the crew chief for Kyle Busch.
He knows it's all over. He's taking the window net down. You don't back in the wall in the tunnel turn without having some pretty significant damage.
Remember, he restarted ninth, back in the pack, and you could see Christopher Bell gets to the bottom of the 90 or the 24 of Haley, and Haley just tries to squeeze down. I don't know if he even knew Kyle was there yet, and they made that contact.
I'm not sure he knew he was there, but by the time he pulled down and squeezed Kyle was about 2/3 of a truck ahead of him, and he should have been able to see him then.
See Kaz Gralla well down off the road, just making sure he avoids any potential problem.
Fortunate as crowd as it is right here that more than just Kyle Busch suffered damage.
I'm going to retract my statement. I think he knew he was there. I just think maybe he was trying to squeeze him down.
Could have very easily collected several.
That's a very vulnerable spot right there too, going in that tunnel turn. Almost no way to save that truck, Michael.
How about on board with Kyle Busch?
This is a brand new Toyota Tundra. Kyle's driving, just pushing his teammate along.
I think he would have been okay with the initial contact, but then when Haley hit him the second time, he hit him in that right rear corner and just turned him sideways.
Yeah, when I think they made the first contact, I wasn't sure Haley knew he was there, but at this point, he knows he's there, but he doesn't back off or roll up to the high side and give Kyle any break at all.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room in the tunnel turn at all. I mean, running side by side through the tunnel turn is pretty challenging in itself.
So this really opens up the play a little bit here now, because we talked from the very beginning, who's going to beat Kyle Busch? Well, now Kyle Busch is out, and it's wide open. Still plenty of racing left to go. Kyle climbs out after hitting the wall in turn 2. Coming back to Pocono. Kyle Busch is out of the truck after that accident and has to get on the medical cart. He'll go to the infield care center just to be checked out, as is NASCAR protocol for any driver involved in an accident. So Johnny Sauter is out front, gives us an opportunity to check in with his radio on the Liberty Mutual spotter coverage.
So keep this in mind, Johnny, the wind is a lot stronger today than it was yesterday, and it is blowing from your left to right. It's coming across the front straightaway, so if the wind has anything to do with it, might make you tie it out of 3.
10-4, thank you.
This team has done a tremendous job to regain that track position. Remember, they started this race only a 60-lap race, shotgun on the field. Right now, he will lead the field when we go back green. Now, his crew chief, Joe Shear Jr., has turned into somewhat of a cheerleader as well, not only reminding Johnny that they are up front and control the restart, but also that they are 5 laps to good on fuel in case we have an overtime here, and also reminding him that most of the cars, trucks directly behind him are also on 2 tires. So he's giving Johnny a lot of information that he hopes will enable his driver to take it to go to victory lane.
Okay, Hermie, thank you. And Mike, why is the wind and how it affects the car so important at this stage?
It's just part of the package. You got to know everything that's going on. And Johnny Sauter's a little bit pushy. If this truck won't turn off turn 3 with that wind pushing it out toward the wall, he might ask for an adjustment. His spotter's saying, no, that's just part of what we're going to have to deal with this wind. That's great information.
And he may be okay off of 1 and off the tunnel turn, so adjusting that truck might hurt those other 2 corners as well.
When they take the green, there will be 21 to go. That's Johnny Sauter on the outside. John Hunter Nemechek in that 8 truck on the inside. Green is waving, and we're racing at Pocono.
Johnny Sauter took off in first gear there, Phil. Grabbed all 4 gears on the front straightaway. Look at John Hunter. He's improved that truck. It's handling better, and we know he'll go for it down on the bottom.
And there's the 18 of Noah Gregson. So just a moment ago on the 33 of Kaz Grala involved as well. It's been a tough break for the 18 of Gregson. He had a penalty for pitting out of the box earlier and had a lap penalty, got that lap back and was running right there at about 10th place. Now Kaz Grala involved in that incident as well.
Yeah, this is going to put all those guys that pitted early in great shape, even for overtime now with these additional caution laps. But a tough break for Noah Gregson. Came in here on a great streak of top 10s. Looked like the 33 got loose. Maybe Kaz on the bottom had to go up the racetrack, got into Noah with nowhere to go for Noah. He had got the second caution. He got the one caution that got the free pass, and then the second one.
Oh, look.
Oh, Chase is in the middle of him, and actually Chase caught him on the right rear corner of Kaz's truck, and that's what moved him up the hill.
Yeah, that...
So didn't look to be any fault there maybe of Grala's. Looked like
I don't
Chase
think so,
Briscoe
Vince.
got in there. Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think Kaz was an innocent victim here.
You can see him up at the top of the screen right there. And Kaz had no idea that he was getting ready to get clipped. That's just, I mean, we're going to see that more and more, Phil. We talked about at the beginning of the day the importance of the restarts and how you got to get all you can get. These guys are getting desperate and starting to trade paint.
Unfortunate for both Grala and Gregson. Gregson had a nice string going, 7 straight top 10s coming into today, and had just gotten his lap back.
He was headed for another top 10 too, because he had worked his way back just outside the top 10, and he had a fast truck.
And there Gregson has climbed from the truck.
Looks like he might be just a little shaken up.
Being tended to by the medical personnel.
Talk about the speeds here at Pocono, down in that corner to 180 miles. I'm probably already up to either in 4th gear, 50 or 150 or 60 even, you know, down in there that far in the corner.
And from that replay, it looked like once the contact was made, that thing just shot up into the outside wall too. It wasn't a long, lazy slide before it got up there. It went straight up into the wall.
Good to see Noah Gregson walking to the ambulance under his own power. 18 years old, 19 years old, from Las Vegas.
Look at the very right side of your screen. That's Kaz in the white and yellow truck. Contact was made with Chase, and he just ran into the side of Noah and just pushed him out of the groove into the gray area.
Yeah, that's we're possibly gonna see more of that, as these guys know that they're gonna have to fight for every spot on the track they can get.
So with the amount of yellows that we've had, as you see the 33 team doing some repairs to Kaz Grala's machine, let's go downstairs to Chris.
Well, Vince, you can see the team still working hard to try and fix that right rear of the car. And Kaz Grala, he lost quite a bit of track position on the first stop of this race. The right rear got hung up on that stop. So, you know, he's doing a good job trying to work his way back into the top 10. And talking to Kaz before the race, he said, you know, one thing I've really been trying to improve on this year is restarts. I just haven't had the confidence. I haven't been aggressive enough. And, you know, right there we saw it. You know, once again, a restart just kind of biting him.
That's 2 of Kyle Busch's trucks. The one he was driving and then that one for Gregson that are into the outside wall.
Of course, KBM won the last 2 races here, most recently with William Byron last season and Kyle himself in 2015.
You could see it just, they ran out of room. Gregson looked like trying to fight for the corner. That squeezed Chase Briscoe down into the side of Grala, and away they went.
It looked like from that angle that Chase was trying to get out of there. When he realized that Noah was on his outside, he tried to get out of that line, but Noah came down a little bit, squeezed him into the 33 of Kaz.
And just think, well, Kaz said to us before the race started, I've got to be more aggressive on the restarts. I've got to go. He did a great job. He made a good move to the bottom, but when they got to the bottom, they all tried to make it into turn 1. They ran out of room.
Yeah, I don't think that was any fault of Chase Briscoe's. It just
totally
wrong place, wrong time, as everybody was trying to fight for spots. Remember, Kaz Grala and his team. The team has 5 minutes to repair crash damage on the 5-minute clock. A couple of minutes yet remaining.
Biggest problem is that
Briscoe
right front
has come in as well.
Right front suspension looked askew on that truck, so that will not be easily repaired.
Well, it's been a tough month for this 33 team. accidents in recent races. Team's been working hard to try to get back ahead of the game and get vehicles repaired, and so they can get to the racetrack the next weekend.
Remember Eldora last week? He was an innocent victim there. Christopher Bell spun out at Eldora right in front of Kaz, and Kaz had nowhere to go and ran into him and knocked him out of the race.
Hey, it's a Major League Baseball doubleheader later today on FS1. First of all, at 4 o'clock Eastern, it's the Dodgers, and they've been hot. They're going to take on the rival Giants. And at 7 o'clock, the Reds and the Marlins. Major League Baseball today on FS1. John Hunter Nemechek with another solid run. Already 2 wins this season. Now sits in second.
See if we can get a word from John Hunter. Hey, John Hunter, it's Michael Waltrip and the guys up in the Fox booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Michael.
Another great run. Looks like you got a shot at this thing. You got anything for Johnny Sauter? Is your truck handling well? It looks like it's really working down low.
Yeah, Jerry Cannon, our crew chief, made some good adjustments to our fire alarm services Chevy here, so we'll see what we got. I think we have something for Sauter, but only time will tell. So we just got to be smart, keep our heads on straight, and finish this thing out.
10-4. These restarts just get more and more hectic as the race marches along. What do you do to avoid getting run over and then still make some progress?
All you can do is hope and pray and listen to your spotter. He has the eyes in the sky.
All right, buddy. Well, it's fun to watch. We're going to keep seeing how it turns out.
I appreciate it.
How about the 16 of Ryan Truex, Chris?
Well, Vince, a lot of speed out of Ryan Truex's truck today, but right now it sounds like he thinks he has some throttle issues with that truck. He says it feels like there's possibly a bolt that is stuck behind the throttle pedal. So he's trying to figure out, is it something with that throttle pedal or is it possibly something with the carburetor?
Well, definitely at this point in the race, the last thing you want is any kind of an issue.
You've probably gotten a water bottle or something hung over there underneath your feet. No telling what could have rolled around and got in there and caused him a little bit of an issue.
I was qualifying one time in North Wilkesboro, and they worked on underneath the dash, and the flashlight fell out while I was qualifying. So I was, with my other foot, I was trying to knock the flashlight out of the way while trying to qualify at North Wilkesboro.
Good look on that Toyota onboard camera. Cody Coughlin just outside the top 10. He's in 10th. Now on board with Johnny Sauter as you get a look at his side-by-side alignment with the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek on the front row as we get ready to restart.
He likes that first gear too, Phil. We heard him launch that way, and I tell you what, the engineers, the crew chiefs, they know what Johnny Sauter did. Everybody's communicating back and forth about how to attack, how to start this, how to restart this race.
And I think that you had to come with that plan, though. You had to have a high enough first gear to allow you not to turn too many RPMs in first gear to allow you to restart like that.
You know, we were hearing from Chris's report about Ryan Truex, and Truex was the first driver out when you looked at the playoff standings coming into this race. Noah Gragson, who we've seen already have problems with the accident, he's out of the race. Gragson was in, so we're seeing some pretty big swings in points today in relation to our playoff standings. So very important how this one finishes out in regards to who might be securing a spot as we look ahead to the postseason in about a month.
Yeah, time's running out on the playoffs, on the regular season.
Here's how it looks right now. So Gragson went from being in to, now being 8 out to being 38 out. So it's been a tough go for Noah Gragson today.
What about our man Grant Enfinger? He's up in the top 5 again. That's just what he's been doing lately, posting top 5 runs.
Remember, he was a guy that came to pit road to first on lap number 25, so he probably needed these caution laps to ensure that he had enough fuel to get to the end.
And the third truck back on the inside, the black truck of Christopher Bell, he's one of the fastest ones. It'd be interesting to see if he could fight through and get the win.
That's Johnny Sauter in that white truck. John Hunter Nemechek in the green.
Already up to third gear. You saw how little time he was in first gear just to get that initial launch.
Oh, and he waited till it hit the chip to shift, and I think that gave John Hunter the advantage.
And he had a big push, too, from the 88 of Crafton.
15 to go, and John Hunter Nemechek out front.
That push was the key. I think Sauter hitting the chip hurt a little bit, but the big push from Crafton gave John Hunter the momentum he needed. It's pretty cool. We just got to talk to the guy that's leading this baby. He was confident about what he had to do. And here comes who I think John Hunter is going to have to beat before this thing's over. Christopher Bell to the bottom. He grabs that position. Looks like Crafton's loose on this restart.
He lost a truck length over. So in turn number 3.
Camping World 15 to go with John Hunter Nemechek out front, Johnny Sauter in second, and Christopher Bell, who you saw just a moment ago make that pass of Matt Crafton for third. Grant Infinger right there inside the top 5 as well. Great battle for those positions 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Well, Ben Rhodes made a nice pass on the outside of his teammate, Grant Infinger, and now Ryan Truex is going after Grant Infinger. Truex up another spot.
Great corner for Truex. See Austin Cindric there.
And how about Austin Hill running 8th? He was a top 12 qualifier today, and he's running in the top 10 here in the race. Real nice job from that 0-2 team.
And how about this truck for Austin Cindric, the Ford onboard here? Remember, we documented the fact that not one lap on this truck prior to qualifying. Doug Randolph has had a couple opportunities to work on this truck. He's obviously made it better. He has Austin Cindric now running up in the top 10.
Cindric takes a peek inside of Austin Hill. Can't make the move.
Oh, but he's got to run, Vince. Look, you can see Hill slip up the track, and that opened the door. Cindric trying to grab that position right behind these two. Stuart Friesen inside the top 10.
Well, you make one little mistake, and somebody jumps on you in a moment.
In a second, they will, for sure. Or Austin drives it hard. Austin Cindric down in the corner, gets in front of Austin Hill on the entrance to the tunnel turn.
Great job by Cindric completing that pass for 8th. John Hunter Nemechek continues to lead. Johnny Sauter chases, as does Christopher Bell. 1, 2, 3.
John Hunter about a 1/10 of a second faster that time than Johnny Sauter, but Christopher Bell was a 1/10 and a half of a second faster than John Hunter Nemechek.
You know, we talk about drivers trying to get that victory to secure a spot in the playoffs. The top 3 have already posted wins this season, but that 4th place truck of Ben Rhodes and the 5th place truck of Ryan Truex, they haven't gotten to victory lane.
Cody Coughlin's moved his way back into the top 10. We were riding along with him for a moment.
Another good run for Cody. They've been getting better and better.
There's those two 4th and 5th place trucks we were just talking about, Rhodes and Truex, looking for their first career wins, and also, of course, the big win that would secure their spot into the playoffs, the 8-driver playoffs. Don't go anywhere. The lap's winding down. It's going to be exciting to the finish at Pocono.
So your new prescription does have a few side effects.
Oh, like what?
You're gonna have dizziness, nausea, and sweaty eyelids, and in severe cases, chronic flatulence.
No.
So gassy, girl. So gassy.
If you're Boys to Men, you make anything sound good. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Next.
Life's full of obligations. Work starts on a Monday, whether you are ready or not. And those bills are not going to pay themselves. But isn't life about making choices? So why not choose freedom? Freedom to go anywhere and do anything. Where would you go? What would you discover? Imagine the possibilities. Start your journey with a travel trailer for only $115 a month during the summer RV sale. Visit campingworld.com today.
It's where fans shout. It's where cars scream. Where every color is represented, yet it's all red, white, and blue. It's high-flying, eye-popping, rip-roaring fun. The kind you wait for. The kind you live for. The kind you never, ever forget. Dover International Speedway. Experience traditions. Cemented in Dover. A rivalry built by legends. By iconic moments. It's time and time again fueled by a pure hatred. From generation to generation. Giants, Dodgers. Rivalry Month concludes today at 4 Eastern on FS1.
Got kids 12 and under? Come to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and any kid under 12 gets in free. Get your tickets today.
Back at Pocono Raceway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Good look right there. On the left-hand side of the screen, the battle for the lead between John Hunter Nemechek and Christopher Bell. And on the right side of the screen, the battle for fourth, Ben Rhodes and Ryan Truex.
You see Truex just lost the nose off that corner. It's going to give Bell a big run.
Bell alongside John Hunter Nemechek for the lead with under 10 to go.
John Hunter side drafting, trying to slow the momentum down of Christopher Bell, and it worked, Phil. Great defensive move by the 8 truck.
Well, that 4 truck has been so fast. During the commercial break, he got by the 21 of Johnny Sauter to take over second and just charged up and chased down John Hunter Nemechek in a matter of a couple laps.
And John Hunter will lay on the side of that 4 truck, trying to take all the aerodynamic downforce off of Christopher Bell's truck. But you can see Bell's just better. He's handling better, but Nemechek is doing a great job.
It's been a tough day on the KBM team. Kyle Busch Motorsports, Kyle wrecked. Noah Gragson wrecked. But the 4 truck of Christopher Bell has been bad fast, and right now he is challenging John Hunter Nemechek for the lead.
But this race for the lead, Phil, is bringing 3rd through 5th into this equation. Ryan Truex is running in the 5th spot, and I think he's got as good a truck as Bell does up front. He just can't get through the traffic.
Ben Rhodes has moved up into 3rd.
We've seen John Hunter Nemechek win a couple times this year, being really smart. Right now, he's going to have to drive a perfect 8 laps, I think, to go to victory lane here.
Chris Neville on the 4 of Christopher Bell.
Well, you see Christopher Bell trying to work his way up to that 8 truck here in the tunnel turn. And the focus yesterday in practice for Christopher Bell was turn 3, what they're approaching right now. He said, after about 10 laps, we want to make sure that my truck does not get too tight. He said in practice, we had an incredibly fast truck, but the sole focus yesterday was making sure that truck, after about 10 laps, was still good off turn 3. And boy, right now, he sure looks strong over there.
Well, he's got a lot of momentum when he exits that corner press, and it really is going to pay off eventually. Look at that run he makes.
Closes the gap, but catching Nemechek.
Only place he looks like he's beat you. Center off of 3, stays lower and straighter.
Catching Nemechek and passing him in 2 different challenges. We've seen Bell catch him multiple times, but he hasn't been able to get past him and make it stick.
If they spend too much time racing, that's going to bring that 27 of Ben Rhodes into this battle.
This is good stuff. This is desire. Just how bad do you want it? John Hunter Nemechek says, there's no way you're getting around me without a fight. He's ready to defend no matter what it takes.
These 2 drivers have won 4 of the last 5 races, Nemechek and Bell. Ben Rhodes, who's running 3rd, he's never won.
Oh, look at the run. He's going to get off the corner. He's already beside him.
Watch Nemechek chase him, though. He's going to chase down there, put his nose right on that.
For the lead. Nemechek fighting back on the outside. Rhodes now right into the mix. Ben Rhodes in that 27 truck trying to be a player in the final laps.
Who does Rhodes go with? I think he wants to push Nemechek by. Maybe thinks he's be the easier of the 2 to beat.
I think that's exactly right. If they do this too much, though, he's going to try to pass them both at the same time. Remember, this is his best corner. This is Bell's best corner right here.
Oh, and he does it.
Got it. Bell to the point. Coming to 5 to go.
We saw our crew chief, Rudy Fugel, urging him on, and he did it.
Remember the 27 of Ben Rhodes, he has 4 fresh tires. Those other 2 guys he's racing only have 2. Can he take advantage of that here late?
Right now for Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek is his best friend. He needs to keep that 27 behind him.
And I believe if Rhodes is going to get him, he's got to jump, and he's doing just that.
We're not out of time here. 5 laps to go.
For second, Ben Rhodes side by side with John Hunter Nemechek. If Rhodes has any hope of winning, he's first got to grab that 2nd place position.
He's got the advantage off that turn, Vince. Can he take that into turn 3 and complete the pass?
And remember, 5 of the 7 races we've had here have gone overtime, so if we would happen to get a late yellow here, that could really mix things up.
You thought we might be seeing it right there, Vince?
I think it's already all mixed up, Vince. This is a great battle for the win here in Pocono.
That's a lapped vehicle that Christopher Bell has just gone around.
Here comes Truex.
Now Ryan Truex trying to get in there for third on Nemechek.
That truck's got some speed. You're right, the caution flags. These guys will be all over each other, bending down out of the way.
Christopher Bell is pulled away by more than a second and a half. Ben Rhodes in second, Ryan Truex third, John Hunter Nemechek fourth. Rhodes and Truex need the points day. Of course, the victory would be even sweeter as Christopher Bell comes through turn 3, and when he crosses the line, there will be 3 laps remaining here at Pocono.
That 27 and 16 both had 4 tires on that last pit stop.
The fastest truck on the track that lap was the 16 of Ryan Truex. He just spent so much time battling with Johnny Sauter trying to get up inside the top 5 that it really cost him. As bad as these kids want to win, I know that's what he's going to think when this race is over if he doesn't get there. Man, if I could have just got there sooner, I think I could have won.
Christopher Bell last year had a voltage problem at the beginning of the race, fell 5 laps down, then had some contact. A rough day for Bell in this race last year that they wanted to win so badly. Ended up fighting back for a top 10 finish. No such problems today. Problems for his KBM teammates, but it's been smooth for Bell, and right now he is out front and sailing by almost 2 seconds.
Great battle for second, though. You see Ben Rhodes doing all he can do to keep the 16 of Truex behind him.
Both of these drivers battling for second place there. Ben Rhodes in that 27 black and red truck and the 16 of Ryan Truex. They would be the last 2 drivers in to the playoffs if they would begin today as they run right now, but no room for error.
I think Rhodes has conceded to Bell. That's why he's pulling off the road, pulling off the line, and trying to block Truex. He doesn't think he can get to the lead, just wants to make sure he protects that second spot because he isn't getting in the draft of Bell. He's just blocking the 16 of Truex.
The white flag out, 1 to go for Christopher Bell. Maybe an issue for the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Saw him fading, and now he's really fallen back. Meanwhile, Christopher Bell continues down the Long Pond straightaway, headed to the tunnel turn. 3 wins already this season for Bell.
He's about to make it 4. Still a tight battle for second back there.
See, Truex has not given up yet.
For the 3rd year in a row, Kyle Busch Motorsports will win at Pocono. This time around, it's the 4 truck driven by Christopher Bell, his 4th win of the season.
Woo! Good job, boy. That's a badass drive right there. You won that race. Great work, everybody. Fast truck again. Thanks.
Yeah, that restart down in the 5th position to be able to fight his way through those other trucks.
You guys, you're the man, Rudy.
That's a
He is the man.
That's a potent. You put a kid like Christopher Bell with Rudy Fugle, you're gonna turn some heads, and that's exactly what that duo has done.
There's the crew chief, Rudy Fugle, who was also the crew chief on the winning truck last year when William Byron drove it to victory here at Pocono.
Great effort by Christopher Bell, Rudy Fugle. Some great stories up in the top 10, though.
Downstairs to Chris.
Big smile on Rudy Fugle's face. Rudy, you run here last year with William Byron, this year with Christopher Bell. What type of advice did you have for him today?
Yeah, we just we had 2 different strategies. We want to collect a lot of points, and then obviously still win the race. So we're getting closer to getting more playoff points. We're trying to win the regular season championship, and then just go win the race. So he stayed calm, patient. We knew there was going to be times where we had to pass trucks, but if we had the fastest truck and he stayed patient, we'd win, and he did it. So SiriusXM, Tundra. Toyota couldn't do it without everybody at KBM. Thank you.
Well, they checked all the boxes today. Well done.
Absolutely. The 6th career win for Christopher Bell in the Camping World Truck Series.
Collected 57 total points today.
Not just more playoff points, but takes the points lead. And remember, the points leader at the end of the regular season gets an extra 15 playoff points.
He gained 25 points on his closest pursuer, Johnny Sauter.
The 4 of Christopher Bell, the winner. The 8th different winner in 8 races at Pocono. Today, it's Christopher Bell with the checkered flag. What a great day for Bell and that 4 team led by crew chief Rudy Fugel. 4th win of the season for Bell and just strengthens his position atop the playoff standings.
Remember, those playoff points carry all the way through to Homestead.
Some other developments today with issues with Noah Gregson. Grant Enfinger faded a little bit down the stretch. Ben Rhodes finished 2nd. He's with Hermie.
P2 being, and I'm just curious, your emotions with this finish, this race team, when nothing bad happens, you guys run up front, and you've got yourself in some situations that have probably cost you. So what's your emotions with this 2nd place finish, and what do you take from it?
Well, I guess I'm pretty mellow about it. That's been the story of my day is, there were several situations out there that we could have put ourselves in a bad place. And after, 3 races of being in bad spots, I finally learned that I can't do that. So let a couple of guys go early on in the race and just try to take care of our truck the best I can. I knew we had a fast, safe like Tundra. The race-winning move would have been when the 8 and the 4 were next to each other, and I just couldn't get them. I didn't have a long enough straightaway, so I had to wait. I tried to keep them side by side, playing an arrow game all the way back around to the front stretch, but the 4 unfortunately cleared them, and then I was able to just get past the 8 and finish 2nd. But congrats to the 4. We got 3 Toyotas in top 3, I think, so that's a good day for Toyota.
At 2nd for Ben Rhodes, Christopher Bell is in victory lane, and Chris Neville is with him.
And Christopher Bell working his way out of the 4 truck here. 4th win on the season. Great win there for you, Christopher. Boy, just being really patient there. You looked like you knew you were faster than John Hunter Nemechek, yet didn't force it for a couple laps there. How tough is it to be patient in that position?
Well, it was really tough, but, my guys do the best, man. They take really good care of me. Rudy's, he does a great job on the pit box, and Tony does a great job on top there. I just can't say enough to be able to drive for Calabush Motorsports. This Sirius XM Tundra was excellent. I'm glad we were able to get Sirius XM in victory lane. It feels like we've had them on the truck a lot, but we haven't been able to win. But, all of our partners at Toyota, JBL, TRD, everyone back at KBM, all the guys in the fab shop that build these super fast Tundras, Joe Gibbs Racing Engines, it's just really a pleasure to drive for them.
You tried a couple times getting around John Hunter Nemechek down the front straightaway, but you ultimately got him going into turn 3. Talk us through that move.
Well, the only real passes that I made down the front straightaway was whenever they gave it to me. So it was pretty tough because I wasn't good enough with the side draft to be able to stall the guy beside me and clear him by the time I got to turn 1. So, and then I looked up on my mirror, and whenever I'd get side by side, we were just bringing all those guys behind us with us. So I just kept trying to figure out where I was going to beat him at, and thankfully I showed enough nose where he didn't get to the bottom of the tunnel turn, and then it screwed up his exit off of 2.
Well done today. Christopher Bell wins Pocono. Hermie?
Well, Chris, Justin Haley rebounded to a 10th place finish. You lost your track position through the midpoint of the race with contact with the 51. Walk us through what happened from your perspective.
Yeah, restarted 4th there, and Crafton got loose going into turn 1 and 2, and tried to shoot the gap underneath them, and lost my momentum there, and we got stuck 4 wide, and didn't mean it intentionally. Yeah, we're watching it here. Yeah, that was my bad. Obviously, I feel bad for ruining Kyle's race. Didn't ruin his race, but it also ruined my race. So something I'm going to have to get better at is learning how to keep momentum through it. But good day for the number 24 fraternal order of Eagle Chevrolet. I got to thank everyone at GMS Fabrication for bringing us the fast truck. So hopefully we go to Michigan and get him.
That's a top 10 for Justin Haley.
After winning the ARCA race yesterday, having a top 10 finish today. Solid effort from Haley this weekend, but always tough when you're a young driver and you feel like you made a mistake and you cost somebody else their day, especially somebody the stature of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you never want to do that. You know, Justin's going to look back on it and say, man, I wish I hadn't have done that. And as he said, not only did it affect Kyle's day, ruined Kyle's day, it also affected Justin's day, but he rebounded to a top 10.
Well, our next race in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series will come your way Saturday, August 12th. We're talking about high speeds. We'll see them at Michigan. That'll be a blast. Of course, a busy weekend yet here at Pocono and also at Iowa. The NASCAR Xfinity Series today at 3 o'clock with our friends at NBC. And then NASCAR Race Day tomorrow. Get you ready for the Monster Energy Cup Series race on FS1 tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Monster Energy Cup Series race from right here at the Chicken Triangle tomorrow, 2:30 in the afternoon on NBCSN. It's been a great day today here at Pocono. You know, they call that truck that Christopher Bell drives, they call it the 38 Special, and it has been pretty special this year. It's won 3 of the 4 times Bell has gone to victory lane. A lot of drama today, but it was fun, and we enjoyed it. For Hermie Sadler and Chris Neville, Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. Thanks for joining us at Pocono, where Christopher Bell took the checkers.